Back in the 1980s, everything took a little longer. From watching your favorite show to writing a letter, life just moved slower. And you know what? We didn't mind. In fact, some of those time-consuming tasks ended up being the most meaningful parts of our day. Today, we're going back in time to remember 20 things we used to do in the 1980s that took forever, and how we managed without instant anything. Some were a chore, some were fun, and some, you might just miss them more than you think. 1. Rewinding VHS tapes before streaming. Before DVDs, there was the VHS tape, and when the movie ended, you had to rewind it manually, or face the wrath of the rental store clerk. Sometimes you waited. Sometimes you had a special rewinder that looked like a race car. Either way, be kind. Rewind wasn't just a slogan, it was a duty. 2. Waiting for the house phone to be free, only one phone line, usually in the kitchen, and if your sibling was using it, you waited and waited. You couldn't scroll, you couldn't text, you just stared at the wall, listening to your mum talk to Aunt Karen for what felt like hours. Bonus frustration. Picking up the second line and hearing, "Hang up, I'm on the phone." 3. Making a mixtape from the radio. Want a custom playlist in the 80s? You'd grab a blank cassette, hover over the record button, and wait for your favorite song to come on the radio. Half the time, the DJ talked over the intro. The other half, your tape ran out mid-song. But when you got it right, that mixtape was personal and totally worth the effort. 4. Writing and mailing letters before texts, before emails. We wrote actual letters on paper with pens. Then you found a stamp, walked it to a mailbox, and waited days for a reply. Pen pals, family across the country, college kids writing home. It was slow, but it meant more. Every envelope felt like a little gift. 5. Calling a business and listening to whole music. No websites, no apps. You had to call the number, sit through the busy signal, or worse, hold music. Sometimes for 20, 30, even 40 minutes. Your call is important to us. Played on loop, while you did chores with the phone cradled between your ear and your shoulder. But when someone finally picked up, you were ready. 6. Typing school reports on a typewriter. Before laptops or Google Docs, typing a report meant click, clack, clicking on a loud, heavy typewriter. One typo, you had to either use whiteout or start over. Margins had to be perfect. You measured with rulers. You rewrote whole paragraphs. And if you finished a paper without jamming the keys, you felt like a legend. 7. Waiting for your favorite show to air. No DVR, no watch later. If your favorite show aired at 8 p.m. on Thursday, you had to be in front of the TV at 7:59. Missed it. Too bad. You'd wait a full week for a rerun, if it ever came, and don't even get us started on commercial breaks. You had just enough time to grab a snack, use the bathroom, and sprint back before the theme song came back on. 8 perms and hair-teasing. Big hair took big effort. Getting a perm meant hours at the salon, rollers everywhere, and that unforgettable chemical smell. Then came the teasing, the curling, and the layers of Aquanet hairspray. You didn't just do your hair, you committed to it. And somehow, even after all that, the wind still ruined it on the way to school. 9. Grocery shopping with a handwritten list. No apps, no digital coupons. You'd grab a pen and paper, usually the back of an envelope, and scribble down what you needed. Then you'd walk every aisle. No search bar, no voice assistant. Prices were handwritten. Cashiers typed in each item manually. It took a while, but you always ran into someone you knew. 10. Developing film. You took a picture, then waited a week to see if it was any good. Rolls of 24 or 36 exposures, drop them off at the photo counter, come back days later and flip through every print, hoping no one had their eyes closed. It was exciting, it was unpredictable, and the best ones ended up in a photo album, not a cloud. 11. Renting movies from the video store before streaming. Movie night meant a trip to Blockbuster or the local rental shop. You'd walk the aisles, read the backs of VHS covers, and hope the movie you wanted wasn't already rented. If it was gone, time to negotiate with your siblings. Then came the real work. Rewinding the tape, returning it on time, and avoiding late fees. It was a whole event, and somehow that made movie night feel special. 12. Washing the car by hand. Every weekend car washes existed, but in most families, Saturday meant pulling out the bucket, the sponge, and the hose. You'd scrub, rinse, dry, and maybe even shine the tires with Armor. Neighbors waved. It took time, but it felt like a summer ritual. Now, it's a 5-minute drive-through, convenient, but not the same. 13. Reading the entire Sunday newspaper back in the 80s. Sunday mornings were quiet, slow, and filled with the sound of rustling pages. You'd spread the paper across the table, flipping through news, comics, classifieds, and coupons, maybe with coffee, maybe with cereal. It wasn't fast, and that was the point. You learned things. You lingered. And sometimes you clipped out a recipe to save for later. 14. Hanging laundry on the clothesline before dryers were in every home. Laundry often ended up outside, pinned and flapping in the breeze. It took time to hang, time to dry, and time to bring it all back in. But the smell, the crisp, fresh air on your clothes, nothing beats it. Even today, some people still swear by the clothesline, not because it's easy, but because it just feels right. 15. Memorizing phone numbers. You didn't scroll through contacts. You remembered everyone's number by heart. Your best friend, your aunt, your job, the pizza place. If you were lucky, you had a Rolodex or a paper list by the phone. And if you lost it, you were done. Now, most people don't even know their own spouse's number. But back then, your brain was the phone book. 16. Setting the VCR to record a show. Want to record your favorite show while you were out? You had to program the VCR, which was basically rocket science. You'd press buttons, set the exact time and channel, cross your fingers, and hope it actually worked. Half the time you missed the first 5 minutes. The other half, you accidentally taped Jeopardy instead of Knight Rider. 17. Waiting for a song to come on the radio. You couldn't just search for your favorite song. You had to wait for it. And when it finally played, you cranked the volume, rolled down the windows, and sang like nobody was watching. Bonus points if you had a boombox nearby to hit record mid-song and ended up with the DJ talking over the last 10 seconds. 18. Balancing a checkbook. No mobile banking. No real-time balancers. You had to write every purchase down by hand in a little paper check register and do the math yourself. One mistake, and you were off by $13.72 for weeks. But when it balanced, felt like solving a mystery. It wasn't fast, but it taught you exactly where your money was going. 19. Making long-distance phone calls after 9 p.m. Before unlimited plans, calling someone out of state was expensive. Unless you waited until 9 p.m. When the rates dropped, families planned entire conversations around long-distance discounts. "Hi, Grandma, we'll call you Sunday night." Wasn't just polite, it was strategic. Now we can video chat anytime, but back then, timing was everything. 20. Chatting face to face. If you wanted to catch up with someone, you had to go visit them. or maybe call their house and hope they were home. No texts, no DMs, just porch conversations, passing notes in school, or running into someone at the store. It took more time, but somehow it felt more human. We looked people in the eye, we listened, and those chats, they stuck with you. Tiny tasks that took time and brought joy. Here are a few honorable mentions that were but special: winding your watch every night, sharpening pencils with a wall crank, folding road maps before a trip, peeling labels off cassette tapes to reuse them, waiting for dial-up internet in the early 90s, each one a little frustrating, but part of the charm of life before everything became instant. Life in the 1980s wasn't fast, and maybe that was a good thing. We waited, we planned, we looked forward to things, and in all that extra time, we found something else. Connection, patience. Sure, things are faster now, more convenient, more efficient, but sometimes slowing down is exactly what we need. Which of these do you remember? Or better yet, which one do you miss? Tell us in the comments. Let's bring back some memories together, and if this video made you smile, hit that like, subscribe, and join us again next time as we rewind to a simpler time, one beautiful memory at a time.